Good morning YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the January greenhouse update. I'm going to give you a tour, maybe a two-part tour depending how quick we get through this, on everything that is going on in the greenhouse for the month of January. January is a big month for the greenhouse really. It's sort of that in-between transition. Lots of buds are coming out, a few blooms are starting to come out, and you'll find things just are starting to pop by the end of January again. They're just starting to get going again. I have 3 dates in the winter that are horrible to me. One is October 31st, Halloween. Here where I live, that means that the sun goes low enough that I get less than 10 hours of light from that point on. The other one, of course, is winter solstice, which I get about 8.5 hours of light for that period. And by that time, the plants are pretty much going into their winter rest. This time of year, it's about the 22nd of January. I'm up a little bit from winter solstice. We have about 9 hours of light. But in the next month, in the next couple weeks actually, I looked on my little app on my phone. By February the 11th, so another couple weeks from now, we are back up to 10 hours of light. And that's when everything just starts to pop again. So I promise you for February, there's going to be tons. But for now, there is lots of blooms, or lots of spikes. Quite a few blooms. In my hand here, I have Cattleya. It is a BLC Cattleya, lady's favorite, morning mist. Beautiful plant. Nice sort of white, creamy with pink lip flower. And it has, I think, another sheath on it somewhere. Right there. There might be another one coming out. So this one could bloom for me twice this year. But there's quite a few Cattleyas in bloom right now. A couple, unfortunately, have just ended, but you may have seen them on the last update. I'm going to put this back on the table, where there is a few other Cattleyas waiting to be viewed as well. There's been a few changes in the greenhouse. I've moved a few things around. Some of the stuff, the little seedlings got moved up to the south wall there to get as much sun as possible. And I put in a little sink down here. It doesn't have running water yet, but it does have a drain, so the water leaves the greenhouse. It's kind of right in the middle. I'm not sure I like it right here, but it's going to be handy. It keeps the floor a little bit drier. There's a dehumidifier in here just for those days like today. It is raining outside and it is really, really humid in here. So plants in general don't like 90% humidity all the time. They do like a fluctuation. So in the daytime, I can create that with the dehumidifier if I need to. What else do we have going? I did some live shows. I'll touch base on those. Not some live shows. I did a live test yesterday. A few of you guys are upset that I didn't notify you ahead of time. I promise it was just spur of the moment. Didn't miss a whole lot. I was just working out some audio. The way it's set up, unless I'm viewing it myself after the fact, I can't tell where all the sort of errors are and what I can do better. Now, doing live streaming out here in the greenhouse is a little bit different because I'm not in my house. It's completely live streaming wireless. So there's nothing plugged in. There's no Ethernet cables or anything. So I'm relying completely on my modem that's in the house. So sometimes the quality may not be the best. And if it turns out the quality is not that good, even though I picked up a good webcam for it, even if the quality is not that good, it may be a short-lived little experiment. But I'm still working on getting the bugs out. We're going to do another live broadcast probably in the next week or so. So you will be notified. I'll make sure I put it in my live events category, which should go out to all my subscribers. So if you want to see the live events, make sure you subscribe. And anyways, let's bring the camera down and we will go for a little tour there. Okay, so hopefully the rain isn't too bothersome for you guys. It's starting to rain quite hard. I thought I'd do this now before it's just supposed to rain all weekend. So anyways, let's start where we normally start, and we're going to go around clockwise. Right here in the front of the greenhouse is some Dendrobiums that are needing the dry winter rest. Here are my 2 Nobly types. They've been in a few videos now. As usual, they're sort of giving me problems. These guys just don't seem to be good bloomers for me at all. They grow quite well, but they don't give me good blooms. And this guy started doing something twisty in the middle of summer last year, and this is what has come out of it. It's like a double cane off the one cane, so I don't know what's going on there. I see another little twisty one too. These ones were outside with a slow release fertilizer in the summer with my Cymbidiums, and I don't know if it was a slow release fertilizer that did that or what, but anyways. Another little Dendrobium here, and I noticed today that he's just starting to get a nubbin, a bud right there at my fingertip. So even the tiny guys will bloom for me, and these giant guys above won't. Here is another Nobly Dendrobium. He's actually growing upside down at this point, but look at all the blooms on him. Exact same care as the two big ones. This guy's loaded in blooms, the big ones just aren't. Another Dendrobium here mounted. And again, you can start to see little nubbins. I'm sorry about the backlighting here, but there's little nubbins right in there. Just doesn't work looking up at it. Let's see if I can get a side view of it. Maybe not so strong backlighting. Right there in the middle. Anyways, it doesn't really want to show it. Another Nobly Dendrobium type. He's starting to hang upside down as well. The pots are just kind of tipping, and that's the way I'm letting him go. And again, I see right there on that cane a little nubbin coming out. I don't know if you can see that right there. So it's just these big guys that don't seem to want to bloom for me. But whatever. Moving on. Sherry babies come out in bloom. This is one of my favorite Oncidiums. It's down there. It has two spikes, one over here as well, and it just smells amazing. Sherry baby is one of my favorite orchids. It smells like a cross between chocolate and vanilla. It's just really, really sweet, and if you love a sweet smelling orchid, that is the one to get. I love it. Every month my cockleshell orchid is out in bloom still. It's got new spikes coming out on it. One spike is finished, a couple spikes are finished. They will, they're sequentially blooming, so they go for a while. I try not to cut the spike unless it's actually gone brown. This is a Paf venustum. Beautiful leaves on it, and a beautiful flower. This is the second time it's bloomed for me. See if I can get that in a little bit better focus. I love the veiny pouch that it has. It's just awesome. Let's see, there's so much that it's wanting to focus on, it doesn't know what to focus on. Beautiful Paf. One of my Cattleya'S Oncidium is still going. This is the smaller one. The big one is gone now. What else? Lots of spikes coming out. There is an Oncidium spike. My, what do you call it, Bulbophyllum Phalaenopsis is finally starting to grow a new bulb on it, so that's cool. I've had this guy since last April, and that is all it has done, and it started doing it this winter. So I'm just hanging it back up. I have to kind of watch where I'm going. I'm grabbing stuff off the top for you. It looks like I have some spikes starting on my Cattleya'S. It's still got its leaves, but this guy here is a species. There's the name there. I always write little conditions on the tag. I don't know if you've seen that. I'm always writing stuff on my tags. But anyways, I see little nubbins, so that's cool. That one's a ways away from blooming yet, that's for sure. Just throwing it back up top there. What else do we got? The cephalotus. They're in their winter mode. Having them under lights for the winter is great. They're a little drier. It's cool in here. The greenhouse only gets up to about 70, 75 on average. A few days when the sun comes out, it'll get up to 80 still. But they're doing well. A lot of times cephalotus in the winter really pout and lose all their pictures. Not the case with these guys. I threw a couple Nepenthes up here as well, just under the lights. My Macrophylla is up here. It's doing nicely. A tenuous. Got some good pictures on it. Phasiliana. That one's got a nice picture on it as well. And all the cephs, they really have some good pictures. These are Coal Mine Beach. What do we got there? That one's from the Urban Bog. I'm assuming it's just typical. Another Coal Mine Beach. Rarest sand site is right there. I'm just going to zoom in. Looks kind of nice. A red form there at the back. A few different forms. What do we got up here? A few more orchids that are needing their dry winter rest. They're just sort of chilling on the light. Lots of Cattleya'S up here. Can't really see what I'm looking at up here. The camera's above my head now, but hopefully it's in focus. Lots of Cattleya'S, some Vandas up there. Oh, my Brassivola nodosa is in spike, so I can see a few buds coming out there on it. That one's doing really well, considering it's supposed to be quite a warm grower. It's loving it up there on the top shelf. Lowii's made it to the front of the greenhouse. Pitipangii. Rob Cattley'i has a new leaf with a new picture starting. Sergioensis. has got its first little picture for me. Now I do recommend with Nepenthes, as I'm naming these, or as you see the tags, if you're not familiar with what the adults look like, I really recommend you check them out because they're really unique. Although they don't look like much now, they do look like amazing as adults. All totally different. King sundews are doing great here. They're in the south window under lights. I let the tray dry out before I rewater it. The soil is just a mixture of peat and perlite. Some Drosas, some sundews back there, some seedling Sarracenias way back there, all in the south window, getting some light. White Phalaenopsis is out. All my phal sort of come out this time of year. Now we'll go back the other direction. Here's another phal. The cooler weather is great at spiking them. I've kept the greenhouse a little bit warmer this year than last year. You can see this phal had cold damage from last year. So that's what a new leaf would look like without cold damage, and that's what happened when you get wet water on cold leaves. Of course, water's wet, duh. But you know what I'm saying. This guy has a bit of cold damage too, but he's spiking, so that's nice. Winter Wonderland is out. And then you'll start to notice in amongst everything are these little tiny buds everywhere. And these are my Oncidium Twinkles. They are just starting to come out. That is a red one there. It must have 10 spikes on it. Everything you can see, all these little spikes are all twinkle. Here is a yellow twinkle. It's starting to come out right here. So you can see the twinkle is a miniature Oncidium. Beautiful little hybrid. A very, very robust grower for me. The little plant has got 10 or 20 spikes on it probably. I can't even count them. They're just everywhere. They're all overlapping. And then here is a pink one. This one is not a twinkle. It's one size up from a twinkle. This is my Tahitian Dancer. It's sort of a pink color. But I have it with the twinkles, and between all three of them, they make a great display. But look at all of those spikes. That is going to be great February update. We have another slipper orchid. This is just a Maudier hybrid. Quite a nice one. Long-lasting, very prolific. It's always blooming. Back behind it, we have got my Frag Andean Fire. I did a video on this one just on its own, and I told you that the frag flowers fall off on their own, and here it is, nicely preserved, or they fall off like totally fresh still. So this one fell off probably yesterday, but they don't die first, they fall off first and then they die. So kind of cool that they do that. If you don't know that they're supposed to do that, it's a bit of a shock the first time. But anyways, I'll just set that there. Good little flower. You know what? I think I'll make that the thumbnail. And what else do we got? I promised you a few Cattleya'S over here. And there's the one I was holding in the beginning. Here is the Tokyo Magic. And back there, that is BLC Little Mermaid. Oh, just BC Little Mermaid. Beautiful. I love the spots on the lip on that one. So anyways, while we're at the table here, I just wanted to touch base again on these two products. These were what I showed in my live broadcast yesterday. The Slug Be Gone, great for getting rid of little bush snails. I get it at Walmart. These are my new toys that I got. The Mimo Insight Switch. You can see here on my phone that I have got the dehumidifier hooked up to it and the greenhouse fogger hooked up to it. So right now the dehumidifier is off, but I could turn it on with the push of a button from anywhere in the world. And the greenhouse fogger is technically on right now, but it's just not running because it's on its cycle timer. But if I wanted to override it, I just push it to turn it off and then turn the cycle timer back on. And the fogger starts. So I'll just turn that back off because we're not looking for that on. So great little things though. Between having the eyes in here with the cameras and stuff like that, I'm able to see what's going on with my temperature sensors. I'm able to sort of feel what's going on. I can tell the temperature and humidity when I'm away. Now with a few of these guys in here, I'm able to actually turn switches on and off. So if my humidity alert goes off, that temperature or the humidity is low, I can turn on the fogger automatically. Or in the summertime, I could have it hooked up to the misting system. And if the fogger can't keep up, I could turn on the mist from somewhere else for a short time. And yeah, so I think the opportunities for those are endless, completely endless. So what else do we have here? The whole other side of the greenhouse is full of stuff too. I'm going to finish up here on this part though, and let's continue the other half of the greenhouse tour as part 2 of this. So we'll continue with my sink in just a second.